wide and open plains. A history of conquest led by one man. This is Mongolia, the emptiest country in the world, where horses outnumber people and traditions run deep. As we make our way from the bustling capital of Ulaanbaatar to the pristine countryside, we meet all sorts of incredible people, experience the Mongolian warrior spirit, along with an ancient way of life close to nature. Join us for an unforgettable adventure made possible by Meanwhile in Mongolia.
We just landed in Mongolia this morning at 3:30 a.m., checked into our Airbnb, took a quick disco nap, and now we are at the main square in town for something very special. This is the opening ceremony for the Naadam Festival, which is something very special and unique to Mongolia. You can see at the square it's already packed with people. We're going to join the procession on a walk towards the National Stadium, where we're going to see the full opening ceremony.
Naadam is basically the Mongolian Olympics. The festival marks the start of a national holiday. People take to the streets, dressed in colorful traditional costumes, to watch athletes competing in what are called the three manly sports: wrestling, horseback riding, and archery. Champions are revered, almost becoming mythical figures. And inside Ulaanbaatar's National Stadium, tens of thousands squeeze shoulder to shoulder for the opening ceremony.
So this is the procession of the Suit. It's a traditional military procession that traces back to the times of Genghis Khan. And so the white banners they're carrying are made with horsehair. And when the horsehairs are white, that means they come in peace. But if the hairs are black, that means they're gonna pillage your village, so you better watch out. But now during this event, of course, they are coming in peace. The opening ceremony is in full swing. We're getting introduced to many of the athletes, and there's dancers and musicians, fireworks. It's like a whole big show. And horses have been a core feature, and that's because horses are really huge in Mongolian culture. Mongolia is sometimes called the land of horses. There's more horses than people here, apparently, and it's been a huge part of the culture for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Genghis Khan's army relied on horses to conquer huge amounts of territory, and in Mongolia's nomadic tradition, horses are used for herding livestock and transportation. Horses are in folklore and music, and of course in sporting events like this, horse racing is one of the three manly sports here in Mongolia. So you can't really mention Mongolia without mentioning horses, and you really see that on full display here.
For much of the 20th century, Mongolia lived under the shadow of Soviet rule. Life was tightly controlled, and Mongolians were largely cut off from their culture. Naadam today is a way of reclaiming this heritage that was once in danger of being erased. The opening ceremony, a clear expression of national pride. At its core stands Genghis Khan, the figure who gave Mongolians a shared identity.
This is such a cool experience. I'm kind of still in disbelief that we're here a little bit. We're about a 20-minute walk from the National Stadium where the opening ceremony took place. Our friend Brianna brought us here, and we're by this little woodsy area where the river is right there. And it's very cool because a lot of the athletes that were performing in the opening ceremony are here. They're resting, napping, swimming in the river, killing a little bit of time before they have to go back and perform again in the evening. So it's very cool. We're getting a little bit of behind the scenes of the opening ceremony. And we're gonna meet a few folk who participated, a few athletes, and I'm very excited.
Meet Nam, mounted archer, and Baska, founder of the Modern Warriors Horse Archery Club and certified badass.
So you were in today's opening ceremony doing mounted archery.
Yep.
How did it feel to be in it?
Everything I imagined and more. I'm really happy I got the opportunity to participate in it.
What does the Naadam Festival mean to you, and what do you think it means culturally for the Mongolian people?
To me personally, it is it's been celebrated by our ancestors for at least 1,000 years, maybe more, and it is a way of preparing for war. We're doing wrestling, close combat, we're doing archery, ranged combat, and then mounted horse. We can't go anywhere without a horse, but for all of Mongolians, it is our culture.
So it also sounds like it really helps you connect with your history.
Yes.
And like a warrior identity.
Yeah, most definitely. And the most important thing is that the 9 white banners come out of the palace. It is one of the only banners that was passed down by Genghis Khan himself. It is actually the original piece that Genghis Khan used himself back in the days. So it is a great honor to see that.
And one final question for you. What do you think is one thing that maybe foreigners don't know about Mongolia or Mongolian culture?
The foreigners think that we all go to our schools with horses. I wish that would have been true, but it's not the case in this city. We have a modern city, we have a great developed city, but rural area is much different.
You look really beautiful. Can you tell me a little bit about the outfit? Because I know this is a traditional outfit for mounted archery.
Yes, all right. So I will start from this thing. It's called bow case.
Okay.
It's made out of a cow skin. This is Mongolian traditional side cover. And this del is actually 13th century, or we would call it traditional Mongolian del that was used in the ancient Nomads tribe that lived in a Central Asian country. And then it also has a wider bottom part or skirt, and it actually allows you to do very comfortable horse riding.
Oh, yeah, to ride easier.
Yeah, it's easier.
Right. So everything's very functional, but also there's a lot of historical meaning behind it.
Mongolian lifestyle is also very functional. It's also about minimalism.
Yeah, and I know archery is one of the only sports where, as a woman, right, you can participate.
Yes, we can't wrestle,
Yeah.
And also nowadays the girls can race a horse. And then also there's a woman archers, so you can shoot.
Is it true that every Mongolian can ride a horse?
Well, nowadays, to be honest, it's not our culture anymore. Probably 3 to 4 out of 10. They can ride a horse. So that's why it's also very important to keep this tradition. It's very important to make it popular to the young generation and get those boys out of their comfort toilet seat to the countryside,
Yes.
They're just rolling, scrolling their phone in their toilet seat and then just, not riding anything,
You got to get them pooping in the wild again.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. I think
Thank
you're
you so
really
much.
inspiring, and I think you'd inspire a lot of people to get on
I
a horse.
hope so. And then one day, people would think that, this was one of the very important thing that Zorgada Horse Archery Club did in the futures,
We're going to take a quick pause to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Babbel, one of the top language learning apps in the world. With Babbel, you can learn French, Spanish, Italian, German, and many more languages through practical, real-life conversations.
Dori, como está o clima hoje?
Ensolarado.
Ensolarado.
Exatamente, está bem bonito e ensolarado.
I'm currently using Babbel to brush up on my Portuguese so I can speak with Lenza's family in an upcoming trip to Brazil. In the past, when we would go to Brazil, I was pretty much completely reliant on Lenza. But now, because of Babbel, I can hold my own in simple conversations. And I'm definitely going to be using Babbel for all of our upcoming trips from now on.
O que você vai fazer no seu tempo livre?
O que você vai fazer no seu tempo livre?
Vou assistir filme com a minha esposa.
Babbel's lessons are designed by real language teachers, and they are scientifically proven to help you start speaking a new language in just 3 weeks. And with their 20-day money-back guarantee, there's really no risk in getting started. So if you're looking to learn a new language for an upcoming trip or any other reason, Click the link in my description box below and get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription today.
Did you know that if you book a tour with Meanwhile in Mongolia, hop in a furgon, a Soviet steel box that can navigate any terrain, drive for 8 hours from Ulaanbaatar, and you'll end up in Arkhangai, a lush green stretch of central western Mongolia. You'll meet a man named Erdene, the head of a nomadic family living in the countryside, and owner of hundreds, maybe thousands of animals. He'll host you in a ger, the traditional home of Mongolian nomads, and you'll spend a few unforgettable days living an ancient lifestyle close to nature. 7 out of 10 Mongolians now live in urban areas, but city life is fairly new in this country. For much of history, people lived just like this.
We just arrived to the area where we're going to be staying for the next 3 nights. This is the Arkhangai Province, and we'll be staying with a family. And look at how beautiful it is. It's so lush and green, and there's a rainbow. This is our lodging for the next few nights. Come on in, check it out. So nomadic families live in structures like this called a ger, and they are circular, and there's a lot of traditional details on the inside that we will show you.
Inside, we're welcomed with true nomadic hospitality by our host Erdene. Our guide Aggie translates and explains cultural nuances we would definitely miss on our own.
So the cool thing about Mongolian culture is that everything has a meaning. And when you meet someone, instead of shaking hands, traditionally you exchange snuff bottles.
This is an important ritual gesture and a centuries-old tradition. The snuff bottle is filled with powdered tobacco, which you take a sniff of. Refusing to accept a bottle can be seen as impolite. We also try a traditional welcome drink.
We are trying something very special, which is fermented horse milk. And this is one that Erdene made by himself. So
It's called Adig.
Adig. Okay. Cheers. It's very rich. It's almost a little buttery. And then it's fermented, so you get a bit of that kind of probiotic fizz.
Sour.
Yeah, sourness at the end. But I think it's better than you would expect. Like it tastes pretty good.
It also has a like sweet taste to it.
Yeah, like a kombucha sweetness.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
The rest of the afternoon, we meet the extended family, ride out on horseback to help herd the animals back to camp, share a simple dinner, and turn in early.
It was an amazing first night in the countryside, and we've been wanting to come to Mongolia for so long that it still feels a bit surreal to be here. And we'll be spending the next 3 nights right here with this nomadic family. And our goal is to really go in with an open mind and immerse ourselves in the way of life here. So we'll be helping out with chores, eating the local food, and just learning everything we can about the nomadic culture and traditions here in the countryside. So I'm very excited, and now it is time for bed. So we are fresh for the days to come. Well, every morning when you have this many animals, there are a ton of chores to be done. Now they are milking the yaks. So this is just one of the many chores they have to do every single day. And you can tell that the people here are very hard workers because it takes a lot to manage this many animals and keep them healthy. Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna try milking a yak. Gotta say, it's gonna be my first time. It's gonna be good. I'm gonna do great. Oh, And they bring the baby out to get the milk going, and then I'll take over once the milk is flowing and continue the process. All right, I'm milking a cow. This is my first time. See, you can go hard. Okay. Okay, thank you. Very. It's hard work. Definitely requires a lot of skill. So I think with some practice I'd get better. But it's impressive that they do this every day.
Animals are at the heart of this way of life, the foundation of the nomadic economy, diet, and identity. They are wealth itself, their numbers a living currency. Hides become clothing and shelter. Meat and milk, food on the table. Every migration is for them, following the pastures that keep the herds alive through each season. Summer brings long days of milking, cheese making, and preserving. Work that builds the stores families depend on when winter turns harsh.
These are cheese curds? Okay. Oh, they're fermented.
From the cow,
Oh yeah, these are the fruits of our labor from the cows we just milked. It's really cool to experience, even just a little bit of milking the cow. It was such a little bit of work in comparison to everything they do, but even that is, labor intensive.
Yeah, there's a thing, so we call it the Mengat. What that means is a herder of 1,000. They get rewards, they get prizes from the government, if your animals reach 1,000. It just directly reflects on how hardworking of a person you are. And
So tell me about how long herding's been around in Mongolia.
the first official empire dates back to the Han Empire, which is 200 years BC. But the nomadic people existed on these territories way before that. We can't plant things, and the climate is very harsh. So herding and hunting has always been our way of life.
Do you think this lifestyle is under threat?
Yeah, very much so, yes. So the kids have internet here. More and more kids are going into the capital for higher education and never really coming back because they're just settling down there, which you can't blame them, of course. Not everybody wants this life because it's very hard. So young people are choosing to live a different way.
Nomadic life is hard work. Each day is filled with chores that keeps the household and the animals running. Milking cows, preparing food, cleaning, the list goes on, with family members pitching in from morning till night. We ride a motorbike with Erdne one day to fetch fresh water from the stream. Another time, Lenza participates in tracking down a lone horse that slipped away from the herd into the mountains, lending his drone to help with the task. And of course, there's riding, for pleasure and for work.
Mongolia is known for horses. There's more horses here than people. So back in warrior times, of course, horses enabled Genghis Khan's armies to conquer vast amounts of land. And in the nomadic lifestyle, of course, they're a huge part of transportation and they're used for work, like for herding the animals, for example. And yeah, they're like a huge part of Mongolian life. And if you see a Mongolian on a horse, they just look so at ease. Hopefully like I do right now, but probably not. But this is like my 5th time on a horse in my life. These guys are pretty well trained, so we're lucky. It's a pretty good place to learn. So we're gonna go herd in the cows first, and then we'll go on a longer ride. There's 2 families yaks that are kind of gathered here. So what we're doing is we're separating the yaks that are our own and herding them home. And the way Arjuna can tell He can kind of just see by eye which one are his. He's really close with his animals. And also the animals know the direction of home, so when he starts herding, they'll naturally start going that way. Look at us, nomadic herders. All right, buddy. Hey, excuse me. Go. Go. Aggie, these horses are semi-wild. What does that mean?
It means they roam free whenever they're not being ridden. 50% of the time, the herder is just letting the horse do what it needs to do because the horse knows the land better than anybody.
So can most Mongolians ride a horse?
When you're born in the countryside to a herder family, you're practically raised on a horse. As soon as you turn 3, you start bonding with the horse.
Has your family always lived nomadically, like your ancestors?
Okay.
Yeah. Do you feel like the way of life is changing at all in recent years?
Өөрчлөж байгаа. Яг одоо тэгээд машин тэргээр нүүж штэ. Бидний жоохон баг чинь хүн тэргээр нүүдэг байсан. Тим талаараа тэгээд.
And how often are you moving now?
Жил 4 удаа.
Does he hope his kids will continue living this way in the future?
Нэг хүүхдээ л ямарсан өөрийнхөө амьдралаар явуулна да. Одоо энэ том бандигээ. Бусдын сургууль соёл ажил хийлгээл тэгэл.
Энэ шалтгаан нь юу вэ?
Шалтгаан нь нэг олуулаа өдөө байх шаардлага байхгүй. Энэ нэг юм хоёр хүүхдэл багт бол.
This is an amazing experience. It's hard to describe how it feels to be out here, surrounded by animals, green mountain, with our very friendly host. It's definitely a once-in-a-lifetime experience. We are very lucky. Tonight we're gonna have a very special traditional Mongolian feast, and we're gonna have 2 sheep from Erdney's herd, which is a huge honor because, as you know now, nomadic herders, their animals are everything to them. And so for them to kill an animal and feed it to you, it's a really big deal. It's really never easy to watch the process, but this is where our food comes from. If you go to a grocery store and you buy meat there, it's likely that the animal there had a much worse life than this sheep. And the herders here have a special relationship with their animals. The animals roam wild and free most of their lives. And every part of the sheep will be used by the family. Nothing will go to waste. So it's actually a very sustainable process. All right, we're peeling some vegetables for dinner, and he's kind of putting me to shame over here. He's really good at this, and I'm struggling a bit.
Tonight's meal is a Mongolian feast usually reserved for special occasions. Known as Mongolian barbecue, large cuts of meat are layered with vegetables and then cooked in a very special way, reflecting the improvisational, resourceful nature of nomadic herders.
This is the sheep that was slaughtered earlier today, so it's as fresh as you can get. And then there's a pot of warm water. They're putting the sheep meat into that, along with some salt. And it's being cooked with wood fire. And there's also some stones that are being warmed up right now. So it's a very traditional Mongolian cooking method, and it'll be interesting to see the next steps here. Yeah. Here's where the cooking process gets really interesting. They take the stones that have been heating and put it directly into the soup with the lamb, and then they stick additional pieces of sheep on the stones, and it's reminding me of the fable Stone Soup. Never seen stone soup in real life. Everything is almost in the pot. Added the vegetables, the onion, potato, carrots, adding more layers of stone, more layers of meat. Then it gets covered up and it cooks over the fire for around 2 hours. Heavy, heavy. Yay, it was awesome. Beautiful. Yeah, very strong, yeah. Yeah.
As the feast cooks, it's time for the final chore of the day, herding the animals home on horseback. These days, a lot of herders do this with a motorcycle, but on horseback is the traditional way, how it's been done for generations.
We just brought the cows and yaks home, and now we're back just in time for dinner. It's going to be the grand unveiling. Yeah.
Good.
Good. Okay. Wow. So the stone acts like a cast iron and it sears the meat a bit, so that part gets a little crispier than the rest, which is steamed with the water. So it's nice, it gives it different textures. It's time to eat, and Ethna has invited his extended family, and we're all gonna sit here outside and feast. And we're gonna use our hands tonight. Okay.
From the stone, you know?
Oh yeah. Thank you.
So you have to pass it in your hands until it gets cold.
Oh, like this?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it hot?
It is. We believe that it chases away the internal gas.
Oh, you have to.
Amstebe.
Oh, yeah.
Very delicious, yeah. It's really nice and tender and well salted. Can you ask him if all his babies were cute and chubby? Like that? Yeah. Tigi. Yeah. Yeah, your mom, yeah. 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 Yeah, very healthy. They get good nutrition. Yeah. Very healthy breast milk.
5 years old.
5 years old.
Very, very nice.
After dinner, the night carries on by a bonfire. Kids dancing and stomping in the firelight while the rest of us look on.
Today we are here for something very special. The main religion here in Mongolia is called Tengrism, and it's a religion that is deeply tied to nature and respect for nature. And we're going to be participating in a ritual tied to this religion with a shaman. So what's today's ritual about? What are we gonna do today?
This shaman, she's from here. She's been doing the rituals for 17 years now, and she's gonna receive 5 spirits today. 2 of them are female and 3 of them male. And her husband is her helper. So when the spirits come in, she speaks in old tongue, and then the husband understands it and interprets it.
Tengrism is an animistic and shamanistic belief system of Central Asia. At its core is the shaman, a mediator between the human and spirit worlds who serves as both a spiritual guide and healer for the community. It is a tradition deeply bound to nature.
We're each gonna get a moment with the shaman, and it's not fortune telling, but essentially you go and ask for advice, ask for answers to specific questions. A lot of people go to them for guidance. It can be as simple as, you know, I'm a herder and I lost my horse, where's my horse? to a lot deeper life questions. The tradition of shamanism is ancient, and it's said that the people who become shamans, they get called by the spirits, and if they ignore that call, bad things happen to them, so they have to, you know, answer that call. And they're normal people, but then when they don the outfits and perform the rituals, they become vessels for the spirits. So like the face covering you see has eyes and whatnot. So what's the significance of the clothing of the shaman?
So the clothing on her back and all around, the long things are snakes. So the snakes represent the spirits of the nature, and they also work as an armor. And all these tassels is the same as what you put on your horse. People come and ask her to shield them. So they tie the tassels around her.
Yeah.
Like with the horse, all of these ones represent individuals.
For 4 days, we lived an old lifestyle. No cell service. Most of our hours spent under the open sky. Riding horses, doing chores, waking with the sun, sleeping with the dark. For a moment, I felt worlds away from the constant stress of everyday life. Sadly, though, all good things must come to an end. We say goodbye to Erdene and his family and set off on the long road back to Ulaanbaatar. But we have one more surprise along the way.
For our final activity with Meanwhile in Mongolia, we're going to be riding camels into the sunset. And the camels here are very special because they have not one hump, but two. And we're gonna be riding in what is called the Mini Gobi, which is a desert. Hutch, 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 hutch. So what I've loved most about this experience is that it's very intimate. It's a small group, and Aggie has really become like our family. We've absolutely loved hanging out with her. And each of the families, we've got to spend really good time with them and getting to know Mongolian culture. Aggie's like an encyclopedia. She knows the history so well. So we've really understood what's been going on every step of the way. So I really cannot recommend Meanwhile in Mongolia enough. It's been such an amazing experience. If you're looking for something local and immersive, very authentic, definitely check them out. I'll drop the link in the description box below. Hutch. Chuk. Chuk. Hutch. Hey, lazy boy. Well, another incredible experience in the books. Woo! Okay.